On today's show, there's music in the halls every day, several times a day, but who exactly controls it? Khshaeta Cama reports. Hankey is in studio to reveal the Hall of Fame inductees, or lack thereof. These stories and more on this edition of HTN Daily. Good afternoon, Blue Hawks, and welcome back to another edition of HTN Daily. I hope you all are doing well, whether in person or online. I'm Trois Murphy, and we are live from Studio 1060. With it being the second semester of the school year, graduation is swiftly approaching, and as a senior, I must say I'm pretty excited. Jed Henderson tells us important details for this year's graduating class and more in today's news.
Thank you, Trois. Here are today's announcements. Seniors, Student Council, and the Graduation Committee need to know what you want out of your last week of high school. There are many things planned already, like a breakfast and field day. However, we need your input and opinions in order to give Rock Hill's first graduating class a proper send-off. Your size for the senior shirt is also needed, so make sure to fill out both of the forms sent out by Mr. Toth to share your ideas and information for Senior Week. Working towards improving students' mental health, Rock Hill's Hope Squad has organized multiple dress-up days to celebrate Hope Squad next week. To give you an idea of what costumes to prepare for, Monday is Western Day, Tuesday is movie/TV show day, Wednesday is of course yellow, Thursday is Jersey Day, and Friday is Pajama Day. These dress-up days will take place next week from February 1st to the 5th, and in the spirit of Hope Week, just remember, it's okay to not be okay. It's official, esports are coming to the Hill. Coached by Mrs. Robinson, Rock Hill's very first esports team will feature video games like Rocket League, Mario Kart, Overwatch, and more for students to practice and compete in. And when I say compete, I don't just mean within the club, but against other schools. If participating on this team sounds interesting to you, make sure to fill out the form sent out in an email from Mr. Toth. Today and Friday during sort time, all students will be asked to proof their school portrait and names for the 2021 Blue Hawk Yearbook. Due to the switching between virtual and in-person school in the fall, as well as mistakes in the portrait data from LifeTouch, the Blue Hawk Yearbook staff is asking all faculty and students to confirm their school portrait and their name. Teachers have received instructions this morning along with the portraits to help facilitate this campus-wide proof process. Anyone who has not taken a portrait for the yearbook may come by room 1063 this week during sort time to have a portrait taken. The last day to order a yearbook at jostinsyearbook.com is this Friday. That's all for today's news. Back to you, Troy.
The music we hear every day helps make the passing period move quickly and gives a break to the students. But who exactly is playing that music? Khshaeta Cama reports.
This is Rock Hill Radio.
There are 6-minute passing periods 5 times a day, and to pass this time, music plays in the hallways. But everyone asks the same question: who picks the music playing?
At the beginning of the year, there was already the music being played in the passing period, and we realized that we were going to have the radio station. So we just talked it over with the APs and Mr. Toth, and we sort of came to the conclusion that, we should have the radio being played in the hallways instead of just a playlist that was already going. I think the students really enjoy it, actually. They get a pick, they have their own input. It's better than just like some adult coming in and picking random music that they think the kids like. Kids actually have the input.
Rock Hill Radio, an organization here at school, has been dedicated to creating a radio station by the students for the students, so they can enjoy the music they hear on their way to class.
There is a lot of work put into radio, but it is definitely worth it. I mean, we have to learn an entire system, learn how to record, and learn how to edit songs, while also editing our own voice, making sure we speak well in our images, our imaging, also making sure that we put everything into the setup correctly so it plays on time when we need it to.
As the radio team has made a name for themselves for their stations, they have done more than just music. They have made an environment to allow students' voices to be heard from podcasts and interacting with the student body.
Our radio station is streaming 24/7. It's always on, not just during the passing periods. And then also the people behind that, also we do podcasts.
So radio makes sure to give a radio station to the students where they can hear their own music anytime they want. We have a link online where they can go and listen to on their own time, not just during passing period.
Rock Hill Radio provides the student body with some input on what plays through the speakers to make the learning day more enjoyable, because they are music fans too, and finding the right beat giving them something to connect with, and thus connecting our campus. For HTN Daily, I'm Khshaeta Cama.
The Baseball Hall of Fame announced their inductees for 2021. Anica Hankey is in studio for this edition of Rock Hill Report.
Thanks, Choice. Yesterday, the Baseball Writers Association of America revealed the 2021 Hall of Fame voting results, and the 2021 class is empty. To be inducted, a player must appear on at least 75% of the year's ballots. 3 individuals came close with 70%, but no one hit the needed threshold to be inducted. These individuals being Curt Schilling, Roger Clemens, and Barry Bonds. Since the beginning of the Hall of Fame, there have only been 9 years the Baseball Writers Association of America did not vote a player into the Hall of Fame, with most recently being 2013. In early 2019, the company GameStop was barely staying afloat, with their shares falling to less than $4. And now, about 2 years later, it has climbed up to over $325 per share. But how has it jumped from 35 to 325 in 7 days? The reason has nothing to do with GameStop and video games and everything to do with Reddit. The Reddit forum Wall Street Bets has over 2 million members, and their goal is to drive the stock up to 1,000. As more people buy the stocks, the higher the prices will become. But the long-term value of this might not be enough to save GameStop due to the digitalized video games instead of physical discs. Due to social distancing measures and mask restrictions, live concerts have been postponed indefinitely. But one band has decided to think outside the box to come up with a solution to allow them to continue with live shows. The Flaming Lips created plastic pods to keep fans at a safe distance. The venue was filled with 100 inflatable bubbles, each with up to 3 people inside. The bubble itself has enough oxygen for 3 people to breathe for an hour and 10 minutes, and then it would need to be refreshed. Inside the bubble there is water and a speaker. Do you think this could be the future for live events? Let us know on Twitter at Rock Hill Media. That's all for this Rock Hill Report. Stay up to date by following our social media pages at Rock Hill Media. Back to you, Troyce.
Course selections are due February 5th, and one of the options for juniors and seniors is to take dual credit courses. Grant Johnson is in studio with Assistant Principal Ms. Weiss to hear about those benefits.
Thank you so much. Today we've brought in Miss Weiss on the show today. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. So I like to begin all of my interviews with kind of like a little bit of a strange question. So my first question for you today is, if you had to eat one food for the rest of your life, what would that be?
You picked a fantastic question for me, because if there's anything that I love, I mean my family, it would be food. So if I could only eat one thing for the rest of my life, I would say ice cream.
That's a good one.
But do I get all the toppings with it too?
I think we can, yeah.
Okay. And then
what would be on there?
Oh, I would go all out. So you gotta have the whipped cream, you gotta have peanuts, you gotta have the chocolate syrup and the caramel, and then, you know, when I go to those frozen yogurt places and they have the whole buffet of things, I like to mix it up sometimes, maybe some cereal on top.
Those places are dangerous. You
They are
get the
dangerous.
base price of the cup, and then you get up to the counter and it's like, woo.
If you go to Peach Wave on Thursdays,
That's right.
you pay for the cup, not by the weight. I'm just saying.
That is an excellent tip for everybody out there.
You're welcome.
All right, well, we're going to go ahead and jump into a little bit of why we brought you here today. So course selection is due tonight. So for any juniors and seniors who might be interested in taking a dual credit class, what would you say the benefits are to taking that?
It's a great question. So one of my roles here as an assistant principal is to be over advanced academics, and one of the things is dual credit. And so I get to work with Collin College, and I get to work with students who want to take a dual credit class through Collin College. And the benefit of that is that you get high school credit and college credit by taking these courses. So there is a select list of options that are available, and that can be found by going to your counselor and seeing them and talking about what options there are. But ultimately, if you earn a grade in that class that is passing, you will get credit for both high school and college. So that's definitely the biggest benefit. Collin offers some really great prices. So getting those credits here, going with them to college so you don't have to take those prerequisites at state school prices, is definitely a huge discount and one of the biggest draws as well.
Yeah, I've been doing dual credit this year, and I totally love the classes. Awesome. And so many people who might be on the fence, right? Mm-hmm. Course selection is due tonight. You got to make those big decisions.
Yep.
For anybody that's on the fence, do I do AP or do I do dual credit? What would you say the biggest differences in them are?
So there are definitely pros to both. And so I can't just sit with someone and say, oh, you definitely need to take AP or you definitely need to take dual credit. What I would say is AP classes are taught by high school teachers. And so you know that it's going to be a Rock Hill teacher who is teaching a high school level class at a college rigor. And you're going to start at a baseline and you're going to see that rigor increase over the course of the year. So I would say that the AP courses really help to train you up for college. With dual credit, We do have some awesome teachers here at Rock Hill who are Collin College professors, but it is a college course, not a high school course. So that's one of the biggest differences. So sometimes people say, well, I'm going to take a dual credit class just to see how college is going to go. And what I say is that's fine. I encourage anyone to take one, but you're jumping straight into college. AP helps you get your feet wet a little bit. The other difference is that dual credit offers you credit for that class, both in high school and college, with a passing grade. AP, you don't have to take the advanced placement test because the test is what actually gives you credit in college. Another big difference is the number you get on the test. It's scored 1 through 5, can determine how many credit hours you would get at college. So scoring a 1 or 2 wouldn't get you credit. Scoring a 3, 4, or 5 could get you 2, maybe even 3 credits depending on the class that you're taking. So lots of opportunity there to get multiple credits from 1 year taking the class, but you have to get a good score on the test in order to earn that credit. But you would still get credit in the course for high school credit, regardless of whether or not you take the test. And that's the biggest difference.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show today to clear up all those the differences between the classes. But you guys, be sure to get your course selections in tonight. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
Back to you guys at the desk.
And a quick correction before we go. Grant said that course selection is due tonight, when in reality it is due February 5th. But it's never too early to get those selections in. Anyways, that's all for today's show. For HTN Daily, I'm Trois Murphy.
I'm Jed Henderson.
And I'm Anica Hankey. Mask up and rock on.